Whoosh! Top of morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku Dates Frog Girl or Frog Alien. And which one am I picking? Well, Empress Attea. I think that's how I usually pronounce her name wrong. It's this one. I'm going to copy this name, and I'm not sponsored, but hey, that's okay.
Empress Attea.
Empress Attea.
Empress Attea.
Yeah, Empress Attea. Yeah. So, yeah, and I was gonna name it as what a Deku was the embodiment of Paths of Destiny, but I was like, you know what, add some frogs into it. So yes. So because her species is like, I'll just say it looks like a bunch of frogs. And yes. And and disclaimer thing. Sorry for, or this is apologize thing. Sorry for a lack of videos because yeah, I'm just kind of running out of ideas for like certain things, so I'm just like thinking of I'm thinking of redoing some of my old what ifs, like recycle it to make newer stuff. But that's enough about me. Let's jump right into the what if. And so, disclaimer before, if you haven't read the description, it says Zuku is a quirk. So, he is the embodiment of the path, or no, he's the entity of Paths of Destiny. Like he's basically a higher up. It's basically he has godly powers. Orange. So, yeah, let's begin. Normally it would have been Zuku and Zumi been born, but because this is the alternate version, so let's begin with this part. So, Zuku was born way before the universe was even born. So, he didn't have a physical body, a human body, might say. So, I'll just use this image. Okay? So, imagine him as one of these stars. And because he's an entity, like basically there's older entities, there's younger entities, and then there's the middle entities. But Zuku was beyond older entities. So, yeah. And he has enough power to, like, because he has the power of Path of Destiny thing. So, he can control anything. So, he's been watching the universe for a long time. He's just got bored of watching like humanity grows and stuff like that. But one day, Inko, the yes, Inko asked or wishes that she had a son. So, but Zuku heard her. Or, I'm just calling him Zuku because instead of saying entity, like a, yeah. So, that's his, or actually, his actual name is called Entity of the Path of Destiny. So, basically, he is a, of paths, basically. So, that's his original name. But when he got reincarnated, aka got reborn as Zuku's, or as the son of Inko, he became Zuku Midoriya. And now he has a physical form. But his physical form body is immortal. Like, no matter how many times he takes damage, or like the attacks, doesn't even affect him that much. Neither is pain. So, basically, yeah, Zuku is a powerhouse, like has no limits. Plus, with everything else. So, plus, Inko also gave birth to Zumi. So basically, Zumi is the young sister of Zuku. And so, hold on, let's go some more. So, I'm going to somewhere quiet. So, okay. And so now, let's continue this what if. Sorry about the interruption stuff. But, yeah. Zuku was basically so Zuko has a twin sister. Because, yeah. And this is what Zumi looks like. She's a younger sister of Zuko, so, yeah. And when he was 3 years old, because of his rebirth thing, he is 3 years old. And so, and his young sister is 2 years old. So basically, younger than her brother. So then so they hang out with Momo, Ochako, Bakugo, Todoroki, and the Frog Girl, or Frog Princess. She actually has a humongous crush on him. Not knowing that she is actually in love with a entity of paths, basically. So, So then he's like walks around being, himself. So he always takes his sister to the normal school every day. And he goes to UA because that's a time skip. So, yeah, 2:15. So he ends up, or so Doctor, when his sister was 3 years old and he was 4, they diagnosed Zuku as quirkless. So then yeah, you might be wondering, if he's quirkless, why does he go to UA? I'll explain that a little bit later. Because the quirk doctor found out about Zuku's is a entity that is unbeatable. Yeah. So then he goes to UA. They basically, at first, they were like, he's quirkless. As he says, this might be fun. So then he runs up to Link. Because the gates open as Zuku runs, destroying the robots 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. As he's like, that's fun. Now, let's check on the others, shall we? As he looks behind and he sees her battling against, like, the toughest robots. But Zuku just grabbed a piece of metal and chucked it right at the robot. And it landed right between the eyes. And she's like, show off. Yeah. But she still has the feelings for him. Like, basically, she still loves him. Like, she doesn't even care who he is or who he was. So then she's always been told that sorry, I talked so fast. Okay, sorry. So when she told him so after the UA exam, should I say? Sorry if I... Yeah. So after UA exam, Zuku and Empress
Attea.
Yeah, was in class 1A. And during the exam thing of her battling against robots, her actual father was watching him, or watching his own daughter try to beat all the robots. But seems like Zuku is more capable of beating all of them. As he's like, that's fun. So then So he goes to UA, and yeah, he's in class 1A. And then his sister gets one for all. Oh, and yeah, from All Might, so. But Zuko never wanted to see his own sister getting hurt. So one day, like after school, he went to pick up his sister. But there was 3 bullies. I don't know what their names would be. They're just spawners, so we don't really care. So all 3 of them were picking on his sister. And he grabs all 3 and chucks them. Like a little ragdoll thrown over his shoulder. And yeah. As she says, "Thanks, brother. Now we need to get out of here and take you home." So, yeah. So then she goes home, or they go home, and then, yeah. So, a time skip. To All Might versus All for One. Because I'm doing this a little bit shorter, but if you guys want me to create it into a book, let me know in the comments below. I'll do it. So, yes. And so, Zuku. So, All Might versus All for One fight. All for One was about to use a laser. And All Might recognizes that laser attack because All for One used it on All Might's master before. And it cuts the moon in half. And the laser is called, so All for One's is laser attack is called Laser of Destruction. And it basically, yeah. So then Zuku, so everyone was watching. Bakugo home was the one that got captured. And All for One says to All Might, saying, "Now it's time for you to die." As he uses the same laser, as Zuku comes out of nowhere, and he absorbs the attack into himself. As he's like, at least I made it. Now, as he looks cold, like his eyes look cold at All for One, he says, "You must be All for One. It would have been an honor to meeting you." As All for One responds like, No, it's an honor meeting an entity of paths of destiny. It's you, Zuku. You were born as an entity of paths of destiny. As All Might and everyone else is shocked about this. You were born as a quirk. You were born before even the universe was even created. And now you're here. As before before All for One finishes his sentence, Zuku comes up with a haymaker and punched him right in the chest with enough force, sending him flying. Yeah. And she's like, huh. Some of you guys need to stop talking about my past. That was my past life. But now I have a purpose to protect the humanity. As he tells him that, or Zuku tells All for One that, and who told you about my past? As Zuku uses his powers, as everyone was still stunned, like they could not believe that Zuku was the living, breathing entity of, or he is the entity of the path of destiny. So, when everybody's like, so after All for One gets captured and so stuff like that, Inko was like sad and confused, and after he arrives, so Inko looks at him nervously and asks him, is it true that you're the entity of, as he hugs his mother and told him that, yeah, it was true, but it was, and truth be told, that as he looks at her with a warm smile, it was you that gave me the purpose. So, and I granted your wish. And so, then Asashi couldn't believe. But then he realizes that, yeah, that's my, or as he actually says, yeah, and thank you for telling me, or tells us. Yeah. So then the next day, he wakes up his sister, getting her dressed and all that stuff. But he also brushes her teeth to make sure, and with a toothbrush, of course. And because Zuku says, no matter who I am or who I was, I'll always be your big brother. And she's glad, and so she actually, she didn't care if he was a entity of paths or, yeah, but she still sees him as her own brother. So then when she was brushing her teeth, during the toothbrush thing, she tells him that he's spoiling her. As he's like, yeah, name plus, hey, all that stuff. So then he walks her to the school, like her school, and everybody stares at him like they all know who he is. So then after he goes to UA, Principal Nezu asks him to like have a private conversation. And so they start talking about it, like about him and his past thing. And before he left, Nezu asked Zuku about, can you fix the moon? Sure it can. Hey? It only takes me a couple minutes, so, yeah, to do it, so. Can you do it right now before? Sure. So then, so Nezu, like, not expels him, but more of like, so everybody, or like the teachers, pro heroes, know what he's going to do. So he flies up into outer space and fixes the moon. Like back to a way it was before. And comes back down. See? Told you. Yeah, and then everybody else was confused. So then the frog girl, Empress, still was, she basically is happy that, because when she got told by her father that there's one entity that is stronger than everyone else. As, who is it? Oh, you know him. He goes by the name of Zuku Midoriya. And he's the only one that you have to be cautious around. As when she heard that it was Zuku, her beloved Zuku, she actually... So when she walked up to Zuku, when he was just relaxing, because he did all the classes, or he did all the schoolwork before, and she says, so you're the entity of the paths of destiny, right? Yeah, but please call me Zuku instead of that name. As she basically, with your powers, Zuku, as she finds him way more cuter than any normal person can. So when she told him about the story, right? About her, like, father told her that about him, he's like, or Zuko's like, huh, all of you are mostly interested in my past. As he basically... So here's a weird plot twist thing. He actually loves her too. So he tells his, or so before he walked, or before, like he actually tells her that there's two different things. And first is as he wrote on her hand, as she recognizes it, as she's so embarrassed. Like, she even realized is that she actually never, because during all that time, she thought Zuku was ignoring her. But in reality, he was too embarrassed to even, until, like, yeah. So she basically walks right up to him, like, before he left to grab a drink of soda. And she actually walks up to him. She lifts herself up to his level, and she kissed him right on the lips. As he's just embarrassed to, like, even say anything. As she actually enjoyed it. So then when he wipes it off because he doesn't want anyone to find out about it. It was a little secret between him and her, that they're both dating each other's. But the only person that does know was that they're dating, or actually, so the entity was, so then both of them were dating. Of course, Momo found out about it. And she's, like, spying on them from far away, and she's so, like, because she actually fell in love with Zuku. And yeah, so basically she does love Todoroki, but she also loves Zuku more than anyone else. So when she, like, heard that he had a path of, or he is the entity of paths of destiny, that made him more lovable, and yeah. So then Zuku and Zuku and Empress, I'm still calling her that because this,
Empress Attea.
yeah, but I still call her Empress because yeah. So when she told when she told, like, him, like, told her boyfriend that about, like, after school they will go on a date thing, like a restaurant, and yeah. So then after that, he did bring her home, and yeah, her father tells her, name, well, name, I know that you. How was your date thing? Oh, it was pretty good. As she actually tells him all about it, because she actually loved him more than, or loves Zuko more than anyone. And so when after that, so the next day, her father shows up before, and Zuko was at UA. As he meets him, it's an honor, or as he says, it's an honor meeting an entity of paths. Oh, thank you. And so Zuko says, yeah, and I heard that you were dating my daughter. Yeah. So tell me, before you became Zuko Midoriya, as he tells her, or as he tells Zuko, what was it like? To be honest, it's like with no physical body, honey, it gets kind of boring. It's like sitting in a chair watching TV, endless commercials, or endless TV, or endless shows. It gets boring after a while. So, but when Inko, that's the human girl, or my mother wanted a son, I answered her wishes. So, here I am. But still call me Zuko Midoriya instead of that other name. Really? So you're saying that you like to have entertainment, yeah, instead of being bored. Yeah, and dating your daughter she's like a whole universe to me. As he says that with a blushed face. So, yeah. So then, her father actually accepted him, and to date his daughter, basically. And so basically now a time skip. Sorry, my foot. I had to move my foot around. So, yeah. So then a time skip to the future, where she's the same age as him now. The 18. Zuku is 18 too, so they both got married. And technically, because he's also used to be a entity of path, of destiny. So he would have been way older than anyone. So, but don't think about it too much. So now we move on to. So she actually gave birth to a lot of entities, versions of frogs. Call them space frogs, or cosmic frogs, basically, or toads, or whatchamacallits. Because I don't actually remember. And so, yeah. But there was a special one that she actually named Zuku Jr. Yeah. Because Zuku Jr. looks so much like if Zuko became like same species as her. And that reminds me, if you guys want me to do a similar like story, but what if Deku was the same species? He would have been the same as, but a little bit more muscular on the inside. He would look like the Dracula from that TV show or anime. More than, yeah. So then, yeah. Zuko was basically, Zuko Jr. would have been a sneak peek at the next what if. So, if you guys want me to do more of his stuff, please let me know in the comments below. And when you're down there, please hit that like button. Peace.